Hello, hello, good morning. Okay, today is February and 3. Okay, it's a Saturday. It's a lazy Saturday, but it's anxiety day for me. Yeah, because of things that the weren't actually yet materialized, and you expect them a lot. I always do that, so I kind of like overwhelmed with how I can pull through with optimism and favors and opportunity, now realizing that part of becoming who you are and living who you are is like experiencing also a lot of rear maneuver and detours and all that. Okay, so high five, high five, high five. Give me five, give me five, give me five. Okay, okay. So there. I just woke up actually a little earlier because I was nursing a very severe kind of like anxiety and depression. You know that I'm bipolar. I'm the psychiatrists are telling me that and all those research that I did kind of tell me that I'm depressed every day. Well, I'm not just actually bipolar. My first psychiatrist kind of figuring out like I'm ADHD bipolar. Okay, so pinakyaw ko na lahat. Okay, ang sakit. Okay, so there. And what can I do? And this is me. Okay, I know that. Well, not really offended. I kind of like, there are close friends of mine, that I love, that, do not see me. Well, they see me like masaya, and they don't like me seeing naka-bathing suit. Naka one piece or naka two piece. Okay? What can I do with my life? It's my life, and being able to see yourself having killed my hypocrisy. Well, I don't need to actually tell you and never like say I'm sorry for what I did. You don't as well get offended supposedly or that. It's my life and I cannot do something of it. Not doing that or actually not expressing myself into that kind of thing. Kind of like tell me I'm not Teacher Felbert. Yeah. So, good morning again. This is Teacher Felbert of Sanctuary for the Stumbled podcast and Doctor Consult by Felbert P. Go. Alright? Alright. So, I was supposed to be explaining this yesterday, talking about fraudulent companies that sell official receipts, as basis or sources of input taxes. Okay, for the benefit of my followers, where they're growing, they're like 15 already. Okay, so what are input taxes? Input taxes are taxes. These are actually VAT from the purchases. Okay, so output taxes are the VAT that's being instituted in the sales that are evidenced by your official receipts. Okay, so when you compute VAT payable for a particular month or for a particular what you call this quarter, okay, you minus input taxes, okay, from VAT. Okay, VAT are from output taxes. So VAT is a kind of tax that's being levied on oil sales and revenues. Okay, so normally revenues are receipted. Okay, if you are a freelancer, if you are a company, before you can actually collect or for all your services rendered and for all the sales that you made for a particular day. If you are like a sales corporation for whatever case, okay, so you issue official receipts in lieu of that. Okay, the 12% is already embedded in that kind of like sales or sales amount. Okay, it means that it's already inclusive. Okay, So there you obtain the 12% from that revenue or sales that you made, and then you have to calculate whatever input taxes that you have, okay, for all your purchases and expenses. And then by the time you can determine that, okay, then you kind of like figure out and come up with a VAT payable, okay. So if you do, well, if you are a doctor consult, well, if you are a tax practitioner, and everybody knows that, and everybody does that, I did that in the past, okay? Well, since time immemorial, I came here in 1997 working as internal auditor of OB Montessori, and I freelanced as an accountant. I moonlighted during that time. That ORT thing, okay, that we purchased from various sources, we're actually there already, okay. So it's as old as well, they said that as old as the institution that's actually behind that. All right, I'm so sorry, but I guess I hope I can listen to them carefully, because when I we did that in the past, okay, and then we kind of like sales and purchase summary through that a VAT thing. Well, when we put when we actually made like put something into the purchases, which are fraudulent as well, because we purchased official receipts from scrupulous well, companies. Well, they kind of like, they are not flagged actually, because they are done in like well, online, okay. And at the same time, even like if you uh yeah, they actually don't get audited, and very funny because sometimes when they progress into what you call this LOA or a tax case. Well, sometimes they allow things like that. Can I support that with that trauma like that? Okay, so fraudulent companies that sell official receipts are sources of input taxes, okay? For my clients who are vatable, and well, don't worry about those that do not issue official receipts, okay? I'm telling this of my clients that regularly issue official receipts or sales invoices that can determine, or that will provide them their output taxes, okay? So sometimes there are really, until now, actually, even if the four companies in Libis that were raided, actually, it's four companies that's being held in one office in Libis, in a condominium in Libis. There were actually four companies that were seized, or that were seen as well selling official receipts. And very sadly, because my signing auditor used to be my signing auditor, Jennifer Roncesvalles. Okay, she's been a friend for like 10 years or 15 years maybe. Okay, I didn't know that during the pandemic she signed for the four companies. Okay, and later on, she realized that she also signed for the 50 companies that were inculcated by the four companies, the multinational companies that regularly buy official receipts. Okay, because well, they could not obtain just well, wherever official receipts that can provide them input taxes, so that their VAT payable are gonna like not really diminished, are reduced, in other words. Okay, so I'm telling you this, guys, because I don't want you to do that. Okay, well, before there was a mandate, or there was like a revenue regulation that at least 30% or whatever is your output tax should be declared as VAT payable. But there were so many companies, a number of companies that kind of clamor on that. Okay, that's why it got back to like whatever is your input taxes, then it should be deducted from your output taxes. Remember, if you are a POS company or a company that issues a manual official receipts, you cannot do something like a sorcery, a magic, or that, because you know what? These are receipted, and your official receipts are official documents that are accountable. Okay, that's being accounted by the BIR. So you cannot do something of a magic of that. Whatever that happens, okay, practitioners do kind of like magic in cost and expense. Okay, you guys should know that. So, like for example, if you are supposed to have only minimal input taxes because you are a construction company. Labor doesn't have like uh, well, when you hire people or manual laborers, they don't have official receipts. So that's why when you pay them salaries and wages, okay, that are kind of massive as well. So you don't have an input tax for that, okay? Construction company, hospitality industry, okay. When you go to a wet market, they don't have like official receipts at the same time or invoices. Okay, so your cost for that matter, you cannot like obtain an input tax for that. Okay, and the four companies are actually into construction, into hospitality industry. The one is like importation of goods and other commodities. Okay, that one, okay, I know of so many accountants, practitioners that buy official receipts. Okay, even when I did an audit of, well, I used to external audit of a string of companies, that's being owned by that foolish guy, foolish old man, asshole. Okay, so they bought official receipts to actually kind of like declare it as input taxes so that their VAT payables could be paid in minimum. Okay, what else? The one in importation. Okay, so sometimes when you import goods or other physical products, commodities, okay, for whatever reason they are not actually evidenced by, well, a document that will determine that you could actually source an input tax from that. Okay, so in that case, the practitioner or the accountant that does the bookkeeping and the preparation of VAT returns on a monthly or a quarterly basis. Okay, so they buy official receipts, and I can vouch that my friend, my signing auditor, Jennifer Roncesvalles, was never really implicated in that. Maybe she would tell clients that, you can buy here. I mean, everybody's doing that. Okay, it's not just Jennifer Roncesvalles for that matter. Okay, and I know that the people behind that are the people in the institution. Well, as far as I'm concerned, that I heard from the grapevine, so we should not be kind of like, clean ourselves, eat Zonrox or drink Zonrox for that matter, so we become clean. Because you guys are actually doing that. Alright? Okay, so that's why there are companies that kind of do that because they know you are always like that as well. Okay? So if you can do something about that, then probably our tax clients are not gonna do that anymore. But how can they do that? You do that so many times. You do that since time immemorial. Okay, it's as old as your institution. Okay, so die yourselves, kill yourselves as well. So there. The other one is trading. Actually, it's one trading of like hardware materials. Okay, for whatever reason, maybe they have imported that or they source their commodities or hardware materials from somewhere else. Okay, these are people. When I used to handle tax cases, okay, there are really individuals and I don't know. They're like of my, well, yeah, I'm a go, but I'm not like full Chinese, but I'm like 1/8 Chinese, and yeah, these are people that kind of do that. I really handled so many of them already. Okay, so there. We guys in the bureau, for example, if you do not like to be experiencing that, and you kind of like red flagging or whatever that you do. Okay, you better that you clean the system as well. You better kind of like. So we thought that during the 30th time, well, there were like surveillances, whatever. We thought that that could be dealt and be taken care of. Well, it's not true. It's still happening. Even if you like pull out or yeah, pull out a tax case and you pull through and then you pull out the tax case, you pay that. There's still that 50-50 or sometimes 60-40. Okay, so I think that I understand. Maybe I can understand. We can't do with something that's very that's been an SOP for such a long time. Okay, so bureaucracy is kind of like a thing. Yeah, well, I heard of uh, a lot of things where foreigners would say that, well, if you do business in the Philippines, as long as you have money, everything can be fixed. Okay, very sad because there were just a handful that are actually raking in money from sources that are not according to who they are. Well, when they kind of by being lifestyle checked, well, that could actually that could swell that could balloon into a very big balloon and that will be floating in the skies. Okay, so I understand that 64 50-50 thingy if you pull out a tax case. Okay, so I want well into that. I don't like the bureau to kind of like run after me because of that. But I know a lot of things about that. Even like pulled through a couple of tax cases 2 years ago and last year also. So it's still the well, check out rationality. It's still like that. Actually, you can actually pay what's supposed to be due to the government, and then remainder of that you can pay cash, and then you can actually like have an installment of the supposed amount that you're gonna pay to the BIR. Okay, so maybe they're doing that because if they are put into instituted into the kabanang bayan of the national government, well, there are only a few also that will benefit that, diba? Congressmen, senators, some senators, and maybe the president. I don't know. I don't know how are they gonna do that. Okay, but obviously, there's been like a clamor all the time. Okay, that's why there are people that go to Menjola, okay, and do kind of like uh, a protest, okay, because we cannot do something about that, okay. So there, so well, yeah, and yeah, as long as you kind of like do that, kind of like shake that up, maybe kind of like have redemption, cleansing of that, and tidy your thing. Maybe companies would also tidy themselves. Okay, so to be honest, we accountants, the old ones like me, but beautiful like me, can always like cleanse ourselves as long as you do cleanse yourselves as well, because we cannot get tax clients when we don't know how to bend. Okay, okay, so bending is not just happening to us accountants. Bending happens to you guys. Okay, and those people behind selling, these people behind the fraudulent companies that sell official receipts. Are you crazy? So kayo lang makinabang, kayo lang sumaya, kayo lang maganda, hindi lang naman kayo, buti na lang kung may Diyos na nasabi na yung mga pesteng yon namatay at pumunta sa impyerno. Okay? You guys should clean yourselves first so that taxpayers would clean themselves as well. Okay? So you guys, people behind the companies that sell official receipts, then you better drink Zonrox starting today, starting Monday. Okay? You do some cleansing because God knows what you're doing. Okay? Well, I can see you just about Bible and like what you call this, the one Nazareno and Santo Niño in your offices. Okay? So, dear Lord, please protect me that I cannot be made make holy by other people for what I'm doing. That's actually your prayer. It's not the same prayer that as I do. It's not the same prayer as ordinary people do. Okay? So do something about yourselves. Okay? You are not just a mere clerk of that bureau, but you drive an SUV. And you send your children to Ateneo, to La Salle, to Obi Montessori when your salary is just 19,000 and your husband is 23,000. Okay, and you are also poor. I can know that. I can even vouch that of you guys. Okay? So wala tayong turuan dito kung sino malinis kasi kayo hindi malinis. Okay? So ganito lang 'yon. Inuud na po kayo. Okay? So for those people that are behind this, okay, do not maneuver, do not manipulate because ang taong bayan are kind of like mahusay na rin ngayon. They read. They kind of like meditate. Kahit wala silang pagkain, kahit nagugutom sila. Okay? So the ones that are actually behind this, okay, my friend was implicated on that and she's bound to do well. She has also lapses. But I can assure you that she's not part of the sindicato. She doesn't know how to do that. Okay? So there, well, you have to kind of like figure it out because, well, what's wrong with like when we pull through like a tax case, for example, okay, the client is happy for you, then that's the time you get a bonus, okay? It's not happening. It's still a 50-50 and 60-40, okay? So when you die, when you are mid bang bang, pak, wala na. So, wala nang kailangang ilibing ka na lang kasi you are perceived to be like that. Okay, so, at the same time, when your RDO is gonna be abducted, wow, there were accounts of like RDOs to have been abducted, okay? Well, those people are kind of like, trying to do some kind of like instituting a lesson on you guys. Okay, so do not pretend that you kind of like a prayerful, you have a Santo Niño or a Nazarene in your office, and then you're a cruel individual, you're a cruel human being. Okay, so it starts from the taas. Okay, do some cleansing. If you have a lot of money already, stop doing that. What happens is it's very addictive of things. You're addictive of having a lot of money all the time. And then you do that. So outsiders like me kind of like realize, oh, come on, we kind of bend as well because it's easier to do some kind of thing. Yeah, and I was part of that. Yeah, because, I became friends of those people that, and I saw that. So those people that behind this official companies, fraudulent companies that steal official receipts, you kind of do cleansing now. Because I still hear of people, I heard of, my God, Christians. Yeah, they call themselves Christians, but they know actually where to buy official receipts. And they have to do that because they will lose their clients. Okay, so we buy official receipts at 2% or 2.5, 2%, and well, that's better than paying 12%. Okay, so and that official receipts that we bought, we can declare that as an expense. Okay, so we may expend them. Well, our net income is reduced, so our tax due for an income a particular year, as far as income tax is concerned, is reduced as well. Okay? So, we better wake up. If you wanna like live, if you wanna wish dying and go to heaven, if there is heaven, then you better clean yourselves as well. You tidy yourself so that people can tidy themselves. Okay? So that companies can tidy themselves and accountants can tidy themselves as well. Okay? So there, I think we have to wake up because, investors, foreign investors is actually kind of like very confident that, we can always do business in the Philippines because with money we can pull through everything. Okay? And that's pathetic reality. Okay? So that's all for today, and that's all what I have. And I hope you guys are realizing that I cannot do something for myself anymore. Okay, when you see me into my bikinis, you just like kind of drop me and you unfriend me if you like, because I cannot be you in the same way that you cannot be me. But make sure when you kind of pigeonhole me into that something, you are brighter than I am, and you are more beautiful than I am. For whatever reason, I challenge you to read books or what films that can better you, because that's just what you have. Okay, a very petite kind of like mind, dirty minds, cruel that are pigeonholing. Okay, so today is February 3. It's a Saturday, and this is Teacher Felbert of Sanctuary for the Stumbled Podcast. Okay, I'm 49 years old. I'm a teacher, an artist, filmmaker, and a freelance as internal and external auditor. Well, I can become a forensic accountant at the same time. So there. Bye bye. I love you, Cubao. I miss you, Cubao.